welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Couch Crunch podcast. This episode is going to be very Nintendo heavy, apparently. But before we get into that, thanks for joining us. We have a full house again today. Let me go ahead and have my co-hosts introduce each other. Take the floor, guys.
Hey guys, it's Nicholas. I hope you guys are going to tune in for this great episode.
Hey guys, it's Don here. Everyone's doing well today.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Amir here. Hoping everybody having a good weekend.
Oh yeah, I love the weekend. Hopefully we can have a great one, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so Nintendo is apparently having a big year this year. So let's talk about a lot of things. Mir, I feel like you should start us off because I feel like you're the more Nintendo guy than the rest of us. What are some things you expect in 2022 for Nintendo?
All right. Surprisingly, I like Nintendo, but I'm not I'm definitely Nintendo is the bottom for me outside of Xbox and PlayStation. But I get Nintendo for specific things. As you guys know, my biggest thing for Nintendo this year is Splatoon 3. That's what I'm waiting for. I seen this article. I forgot who published it. I think it was IGN or something like that. But they were talking about how March is going to be a big month for Nintendo Switch games. And I'm looking at, it's not the same article, but I'm just looking at March releases for Switch games. A lot of the stuff is indie stuff.
Just lay them on us. What's coming out?
I'm seeing One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Hold on, give me a second. All right, cool. Here we go here. So this new Kirby game is coming out. I think that's one of the biggest releases that's coming out for March for the Switch. This new Kirby, I think it's like a new platformer type Super Mario Odyssey inspired game. I was never really the biggest Kirby fan, but I think I might check it out. It looks pretty interesting. In terms of as we all know, one of the biggest releases is this new Pokemon's Legend. It's coming at the end of January. It's going to be absolutely fire. Everybody's saying it's a Breath of the Wild inspired Pokemon game.
True, but I've heard some sketchy things about it so far.
You said sketchy things.
Yeah, apparently the frame rate apparently is not looking great on a lot of the trailers and stuff like that.
But see, that's the thing. It's this is a Nintendo game. It's only for the Switch. So how can they not make that work?
Right.
But anyway, so we got Persona 4 that's coming out in March. To be exact, so it's called Kirby and the Forgotten Land. There's Vampire Masquerade. Oh, I'm sorry, that's in May, not March. Outside of Persona 4, Kirby, most everything else is pretty much indie games. One of the games I am looking forward to is Ollie World. I know that's a indie platformer skateboarding kind of game. That's going to be on everything, actually. I think it's going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and the Switch. But from what I've seen from gameplay, I think I'll just get it on the go.
I've
seen that game.
Yeah, I was going to say, a game like that, I feel like it will probably strive better on the Switch anyway. I feel like indie games in general are just more acceptable on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree. It's just something you would want to play on the go anyway.
Yeah. But real quick, going back on Splatoon 3, I'm hella hyped for this game. I am all for it. I can't wait for Splatoon 3 to come out. I'm buying that drone probably day one.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
The graphics look nice. They got a lot of new weapons. There's that ball tank thing that they just introduced. That looks really cool. So I think we'll talk about Splatoon 3 later because I think that's one. Yeah, we'll go more in depth later. I'm just saying that later. But Nintendo looks like it's got a lot of heavy hitters coming out in 2022. I feel like Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be the big one of 2022.
Yeah,
or at least for the first half. Even if the game doesn't look very well, I feel like they're still gonna that game's still gonna sell like crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. But see, that's the thing too, is because it's like, all right, like with that coming out, what can top it, right? Like anything else, I don't think Kirby's going to beat it.
I think
Splatoon 3 possibly can. I mean, unless they release like Breath of the Wild 2 or like
I was just going to say that
or something like that. I think this Pokemon might be the home run for Nintendo this year.
But yeah, the whole, like, speaking of Legend of Zelda, that game is slated to come out in 2022, but I don't think it has a release date yet, so no one actually knows. But I promise you, when I don't even care how good or bad it is, you know that game's gonna sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, are you talking about Breath of the Wild or Pokemon?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever they're gonna call it.
Yeah. I still never finished the first one. It's hella long. It's too much shit to do in there. I'll get around to it one day.
I'm just a Zelda guy. It's not my.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. Like Breath of the Wild 2 will be like a close contender for Splatoon 3. If it had any, like for sales wise, you know.
Nick, you got any hopes and expectations for Nintendo for this year?
I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of Splatoons. I mean, I did try to when, my co-host me and Mir, we used to play it on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know. I didn't like it too much because of the mechanics. It wasn't difficult to learn the game, but it was just, it just wasn't my cup of tea. So for Splatoon 3, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear too many good reviews on it, so I'm not really having a lot of expectations for it, but I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, 2, I didn't like 2, but who knows? I mean, they might add some new things to the game that I might actually enjoy. So I mean, I'll give it a shot as far as Splatoon 3. I don't know. I may be taking a long shot at this, but I mean, I would like to see another Mario game. I mean, I know they recently dropped the Mario game, like 2 years ago. I think the Bowser. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, didn't it?
No, I think
it was I think originally it was on the Wii U, the Mario 3D World or whatever. The Bowser's Fury was an additional like add-on thing.
Yeah,
but the game itself was new.
I thought Bowser's Fury was a DLC for Odyssey.
No.
I think it's just an extra expansion for Mario 3D World.
Right.
But I agree with you. Yeah, for sure. Like, we definitely need like a new, and like not any like Mario Party, Mario Sport game or nothing like that. Like, give us like Mario, exactly. Like remake Mario 64.
Right.
Odyssey 2. Like, we definitely need a new Mario game at this point.
Right, because I think Odyssey was like really good. I really enjoyed playing that one. So if we can get another one of those, I would really expect that like for this year. It's probably not this year, but in expectation, like I would love to see that.
Yeah. Speaking of Mario, I just wanted to get a quick like a general consensus of how everyone feels about the Mario movie coming out. How do we feel about that?
Oh, I actually didn't know that there was a movie coming out for that.
Oh,
I didn't know either.
Yeah. No, we didn't hear that. No.
Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you guys. So Illumination, the guys who made Despicable Me and all those movies, they're making a Super Mario movie, and they casted Chris Pratt as Mario.
I'm down with that.
And Charlie Day as Luigi.
Charlie Day as Luigi. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the cast. Oh, and Michael Keegan Key or whatever his name is. Michael something. The guys from Key and Peele. The other guy, not Jordan Peele, but the other guy. He's playing Toad.
Oh my goodness.
So like.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Like I feel like this movie's gonna be very meme heavy because of like all the ridiculous casting, but at the same time, I'm all for it.
I can't see Chris Pratt being. I mean, he's a great actor, but I can't see him being Mario now.
Nah, I can see him being Mario for sure.
Like, I can't, but that's not the part I'm interested in. I'm all for Charlie Day as Luigi. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
I'm all for. That one's gonna be hilarious. Like that movie's gonna. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be spewing popcorn and soda all over that movie theater.
Now, would it be able to top Sonic though? That's the question.
Oh, I honestly, I doubt it will.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Sonic is like the golden standard for video game based movies nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this movie's gonna be really weird and everything. But since we're still on the topic of Nintendo, I'm assuming there was a rumor going around that Fortnite will finally get a Nintendo based character, but no one knows who that Nintendo based character is. So my question to you guys is, which Nintendo character would you like to see in Fortnite and why?
I would like to see Zelda, just because it's Zelda. Like I would love
Link.
Yeah, with Link. I meant to say Link. I would like to see Link. I apologize, guys. Yeah, I would like to see Link, just because it's like, I don't know, Link is an awesome character. I love his sword. I love his shields. And, if they can add, I don't know, like the sword as a pickaxe, that would be cool. Like, that's my expectation.
Yeah, no, I can see that for sure. Like Link being see, the only thing I don't know, like because I was gonna say, will his costume really fit in the game? Because Link has but then again, if you use something like from like Breath of the Wild or something like that, yeah, I mean I can see. But then and at the same time, Link is kind of short too. Fortnite characters have to be a certain like height, like because they don't have any miniature characters in the game too. So.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I would like to see Samus. We need Samus for sure. Samus fits that criteria. Like,
yeah, but how are they gonna do Samus? Samus is one-handed, so it's like, how are they gonna do that? How are they gonna hold the pickaxe?
That's a good point.
It doesn't have to be the regular Metroid suit. It could be the Zero Suit Samus. They do extra edit styles and stuff like that. So she has, I don't know, like guns as pickaxes or whatever. But I think that'd be pretty cool.
Don, we all know that Fortnite's your favorite game. So like, what would you pick?
Oh man, I'm not sure because I'm the one out of the bunch that's not too well known to be playing Fortnite. But it'd be cool if they had like a crossover thing, like if they traded like a Fortnite character, put it into Smash, and put a Smash character into Fortnite. That'd be cool. They did something like that, event or something. Like
a reverse thing where they, instead of putting a Nintendo character in Fortnite, they just put Fortnite in Nintendo. That's okay. I honestly thought they were going to do that already, but I guess not.
Yeah, like a crossover kind of thing. I don't know.
But I have a very, very obscure choice. I want them to put a Pokemon in Fortnite, just because like, just keep things fresh and like different. So like, I'm gonna go with Greninja in Fortnite. Give me Greninja.
So what they do is, I don't see them put in the actual Pokemon. They would just get a character with the skin on there. Like, you know how they have like characters with like fucking dinosaurs and like dogs and stuff like that. They would just put like the Pokemon skin on the characters on there.
Sure, that's fine too. I don't care. Give me, like I said, as long as it's Greninja based, or give me Lucario. I don't know.
Yeah,
Lucario would be badass. How about Mewtwo? Mewtwo would be cool too.
Mewtwo would be cool too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Mewtwo. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Now that I think about it, but I would like a Pokemon based thing in Fortnite. That'd be pretty cool.
Or they could do like a thing where they put.
Yeah, no, my fault. You go ahead now.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, or they could do a thing like they could put Ash Ketchum in there and just have them do like different Pokemon emotes or whatever.
Yeah, but Ash sucks. No one cares about Ash.
Imagine Team Rocket.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, have the characters and.
That's not bad. Actually, I would take Team Rocket, and like the backpack would be like Meowth. Just sitting.
Oh my god, that would be great.
That'd be cool. So, Fortnite, cut that check. We did the job for you.
I don't even think it's epic. I think it's more so like, will Nintendo budge? Like,
yeah, I know Nintendo's they're not really big on sharing. I mean, but then again, look at Smash Brothers nowadays. It's like, excuse me. They have
them paying people to like license their character. It's different, like for like them to be like, all right, cool, like go ahead and use Link or something like that. Like,
all right, and
I don't even think, bro, we don't even have any Nintendo Funko Pops yet. There's no Nintendo-based Funkos.
All right.
Are you sure about it?
No, yeah, he's right.
I don't think there's no Nintendo Funkos. Like,
all right.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
I just think because Nintendo's really greedy, they don't want to share nothing with nobody. That's the problem.
I don't know.
And I mean, respectfully, I understand. Like, you know, Nintendo's beloved, so like nobody's gonna complain about it.
No, but I mean, it's okay to share once in a while. And you know,
I mean, they got Pokemon based pops. That's Nintendo.
Yeah, but we mean like, you know, Mario or
Bayonetta. Like,
yeah.
Give me
I'm sure there's a Bayonetta like pop somewhere in the world. Hold on.
There might be a like what are those things called? The Nintendo little figurines or something, but like no Funko Pop. Like, okay.
Oh, there really isn't. That's odd. I didn't even know that. Huh. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You learn something new.
Oh, yeah, I was seeing that it actually is like a Mario game coming out, Mario Rabbids. It's like Mario with the Rabbids.
Yeah, but that's
like
a turn-based strategy type genre. It's not really like an open world platformer.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we need less of those and more like traditional Mario.
I feel like the tryhards play those games, right? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I've never had like a casual dude come up to me and just be like, oh yeah, one of my favorite games is XCOM. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're trying too much. Like, no one cares. Like, the most strategy game I think I play is Pokemon.
Yeah,
like, that's my limit. I don't really care about like XCOM or, like you said, the Mario meets Rabbids game. I mean, it's charming, sure, but like, I don't think I mean, me personally, I don't really care for. Like, again, I can't speak for everybody.
Well, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not really big on Mario either, so I don't know.
That's true. But real quick, let's jump back on another game real quick. I know we already mentioned it, but Splatoon 3. How well do we think Splatoon 3 is going to do? Because like the game is like the Splatoon 2 came out in like what 2014,
27. Oh well, yeah,
17?
The original I think was 2015. The first one.
The first one? Well, I mean Splatoon 2.
Oh, I think it was like 2017, 2018.
Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, 17. You're right. So that's what 4 years ago.
Well, you said 2017? Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 years ago. So like, there's a nice little gap between that. So like, I feel like there was a nice enough gap that now that Splatoon 3 has been announced, I feel like there's a lot of hype behind it now. So like, how well do we think that Splatoon 3 is going to do?
I mean, I think Splatoon is. I think it's actually already listed as like one of the top like 5 best-selling Switch games. Like, period. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge jump from, because like when the first Splatoon came out, I think it was on the Wii U. It was popular, but it had more so of like a cult following. Like you only played Splatoon if you really knew about it. But like Splatoon 2 really kind of like reshaped how shooters for the Switch was now. Like, once Splatoon 2 came out, it was nothing. Like, you got to think about it. This is early Nintendo Switch, right? There was no other shooting multiplayer game like that at the time. And the fact that it just lasted for so many years just proves, like, yeah, like, a lot of people still play Splatoon to this day. Like,
and like, I agree with you, because like, and I think Splatoon is in a good position because, like you said, there's not really any like online competitive shooters on the Switch now. But like nowadays, yeah, we got like Overwatch on there and stuff like that. But like those games are already popular on other systems.
Exactly.
So it's like Splatoon is in that perfect little sweet spot where it's like I can control. They basically control the competitive like online shooter like mind like like that ring inside the Switch world. So it's like I think I think Splatoon 3 is going to do really well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's a couple things that they need to fix. So like one of my biggest issues with Splatoon was like Splatoon 2 was like there was no like friend party kind of thing, right? Like the way you would play with friends was really complicated. And I also didn't like the in-game chat. Like, I think Nintendo needs to fix that. I shouldn't have to download the app.
Voice chat. Just bring party chat.
Exactly, right? Like, and I feel like with a game like Splatoon, because it's so multiplayer and co-op friendly, they should have some type of like in-game chat also. Like, you know how you play like Call of Duty or whatever, and like you get to directly message your friends on there and shit like that. We need something like that in Splatoon 3. Like, they need to fix that. Cause like that'll just make the experience much more smoother.
And that's the issue. That is the main issue, is that it's so difficult. And that's with all Nintendo games. It's so difficult to invite with your friends, because their main thing is, you know, to play with people in your house. You know what I mean? Or if you like locally, but online, everyone would like to play with each other online. You know?
Yeah.
So that's something that they probably definitely got to fix, you know?
Yeah. So like, let's see how their online's going to look like. Cause like, I agree with you guys. Like, just implement some kind of party chat or like some kind of group chat thing where like, I hate when games have like a separate app just to have a group chat in a specific game. Like, you're doing too much. Like, it's, you know what I mean?
But on top of that, another issue I have with it is like, now this could be a personal issue, like this could be an individual thing, and I don't know if this is just I recently just got the Switch OLED, so I haven't like touched Switch Lite or the original Switch in years, so I don't know if the functionality is the exact same. But like when I downloaded it, I pretty much went to I don't know how new this feature is with Nintendo, but like they have the cloud save thing now, right? Like when I got my Switch last year, that wasn't an option. So they have this thing now where it's like, you know, any games you play, they save through cloud save now. But that isn't the case with Splatoon, right? So like last time I was really playing the game is when I had my Switch Lite, but at that time as well, everything was being saved, right? So it's like when I go on to the OLED and I go to my backup cloud saves, I don't see Splatoon 2 there. So that's an issue for me, because like with that type of game, it's so grind heavy. You can't just be restarting that type of game all over again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know whether this needs to be a cloud save thing that they make on Splatoon 3. But like I know they have that option, like they have it in the, I think it's the option in the actual game when you go into the Splatoon settings, where you can like transfer data or something like that. But even that in itself is complicated, because I think you need the original system in order to do that. Like you have to have both of the Switch systems nearby each other. And it's just like, it just makes everything so much difficult. So it's like, I need them to fix that.
That sounds way too complicated for my brain.
I need them to fix that for sure.
So does like the Splatoon, like the previous Splatoon games, do they all interconnect with each other? Like if you made a character from Splatoon 1, does it go into Splatoon 2 and then, or you just start fresh?
So I don't know, because like Splatoon 1, again, it wasn't as popular as Splatoon 2. So like, I don't know how that situation was. I'm assuming not, only because like, bro, if I sign in, like if I was to log in on my Nintendo account on Alex's Switch, I wouldn't be able to pick up my progress in Splatoon 2.
Yeah, that's just, I can kind of.
I would have to start over, and it's just like I was like at a high rank in everything, and it's just like for it to reset like that, it's just crazy. So I'm like, they need to fix that. I need that fixed.
Yeah, that's that. I can see that frustration. So like, let's see what happens. Another thing that I feel like is a lot really slept on in Splatoon was they had like a horde mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that thing was incredible.
I think it's called like Salmon Run or something.
Yeah, it's like Salmon Run or something like that.
Yeah.
First off, if you say salmon one more time, I want to gut.
That's just natural to me.
You almost got kicked out of my wedding for that. Salmon, how dare you? But I want them to build on it, because like as much as like I personally love that mode, but like I do admit it was kind of short and like it was kind of tacked on. It was like a side afterthought. I think they should build more on that, because like I don't know, as a fan of like, you know, the survival like Call of Duty zombie things and stuff like that, I love a good horde mode. So it's like build on that horde mode, and like you got an A+, Switch game right there.
Yeah,
Nah, yeah, definitely add more co-op or oriented stuff around the time.
There's one thing I do like to say about Splatoon though is like I can see, like Mary was saying earlier, it really left its mark on Nintendo because you even got like games that kind of took its format and ran with it, like Jala, that game that came out recently.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So like Splatoon is like really leaving its mark of like making its own kind of genre in a way.
I mean, think about it. It's made its way into Smash. It's made its way into Mario Kart. Like, I'm pretty sure whatever other Nintendo games that they have out, Splatoon will probably be added in there too.
So yeah, we'll see how Splatoon ends up grinding for the Switch. I think it's gonna do fine, but we'll see what happens. But moving from Nintendo, and speaking of things that are probably going to do really well, let's talk about this Marvel movie that's coming out, Morbius. How's everyone feeling about Morbius? Does everyone think it's going to sell well? Does everyone think it's going to stink? What's everyone's opinions?
Oh, man, I start this. Oh.
Yeah, no, you're good, Don.
Yeah, Don, start us off.
Okay. Yeah, with Morbius, this is like one of my most anticipated for actually a while. Like I was kind of, looking down on the MCU for quite some time because I was kind of getting tired of the format of just keep seeing the Avengers over and over. So it's like now that they're introducing though, like a new character finally is like it's like a breath of fresh air, and like seeing it's like a more darker tone too of like a vampire kind of character, and how it's gonna kind of like go into like his backstory of where he came from. He seems like a mad scientist that like experiment gone wrong in a way, and he kind of like became a vampire, and it seems like it's kind of going. I hope it doesn't go down the route of Venom, but we'll see though,
Interesting. Mir, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, like I solely only know about this movie because of I don't know if this was the debut trailer of it or not, but when we seen it in Spider-Man No Way Home, yeah, I mean it looks cool. Like Dante said, like the whole plot of like him being a mad scientist going wrong. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like he has like this what do you call it, like split personality type thing going on.
I wouldn't go that far. I think he's gonna have split personality. That's more like Moon Knight's territory, but
I only asked because it seems like at some point like he had control of his being now, and at certain points in time he kind of snaps and goes into like this other being type of thing. Mind you, this is just briefly what I've seen from the trailer. I haven't done any research. I don't even know about his actual like character in the comics. I don't really know much about him. But yeah, I mean, the sole reason why I'll be probably watching it is just to see how it connects to the MCU as a whole. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for the actual movie, but like, I just want to see how he ties into everything like that. Because when Marvel introduces something, there's always something behind that.
Right. Nick, you got anything you want to include into this one?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's. I had to agree with Don. It's definitely a different take on the typical Marvel movies. It's like more in depth with more of a dark side of things. So honestly, we don't see that too much as far as Marvel movies, especially the way the MCU has been going. So it's interesting to see a different take on especially a new character. He's not new a character, but he's new to the big screen. You know what I mean? So it's definitely interesting to see how's that going to play out. I expect it to be really good though, because honestly, I like that he's a Spider-Man villain, which is I love Spider-Man, so that's going to be interesting. I wanted to see I actually didn't even see him. Forgive me, I didn't even actually see him in the after credit scenes.
No.
Yeah, no spoilers. I'm sorry.
No spoilers. There's a few Marvel movies I haven't seen yet, so
okay.
I'm thinking there.
Yeah, I didn't see that scene that Mir mentioned, but yeah,
what scene?
That you said that he
Nope.
was.
No.
All right, so we're not going to spoiler free, but
let's just say there's a scene in a Marvel movie where it may introduce this character. So like, let's leave it at that.
I haven't seen that. I don't know what's going on.
All right, good. So Nick, shut up.
all right, moving forward. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see that. And he has some type of connection with Blade. So I'm hoping if Blade's going to be meant, like if it's a somewhat connection to him, we can actually start seeing another wave of Blade movies. Not saying the Wesley Snipes series wasn't good, but I mean, I would like to see Blade come back as well.
Yeah, okay, so like, let me jump on this because this is why I'm excited for Morbius, because like I agree with all you guys. Like what I find the most fascinating is the fact that like one, it's cool to see like Sony actually slowly start to kind of spill into the MCU and like give their takes and like kind of put their spin, their like stamp on the MCU. That I think that's really cool. And then what's cool is this opens up the door for so many other characters. Like you said, Blade is a well-known, like, I don't say enemy of Morbius because obviously Blade's the good guy and Morbius is more the anti-hero. But like, I feel like what's really cool is that not only does it bring that character into the fold, but it's cool to see how it connects to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies too. Because I don't know if you guys seen the trailer, but there's the scene where Morbius is walking down the alleyway or something like that, and there's a picture of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with the murder on the wall. Like that I find that interesting because I want to see what that means and like how that even connects, because that shows us what happened after the franchise. You know what I mean? Like. And then there's the casting of Michael Keaton as the Vulture is in this movie as well, which is cool because that's the Tom Holland Spider-Man villain. You know what I mean? So I want to see how like they plan on working all that out. I think that's really cool. Also, what I feel like I'm kind of excited about, but also not, is the casting of Jared Leto. Now, if you guys don't know, Jared Leto played the Joker in by far the worst performance of that character I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was horrible.
It was really bad. And again, it wasn't necessarily his fault. It's just that they wrote the character to be this like wannabe gangster, and like it just didn't fit. You know what I mean? At least for me, I just absolutely despised it. Again, not because of his acting ability. It's just because what they gave him. So like,
oh yeah. That's the one from Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I like the second one better.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that movie was so good. The James Gunn Suicide Squad
that movie
was so much better.
Yeah.
It was so good. But you don't like it, Mir?
It's Suicide Squad 2?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily Suicide Squad 2. It's more like a reboot.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but like, I don't know. I didn't really like either one. Like, I'm not gonna say I didn't like them, but like, put it this way, like, if it isn't for Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, nobody would watch that shit. What?
I gotta agree with him.
Nobody would watch that shit.
And
Shark.
King Shark is great. Don't get me wrong. I love King Shark as a character, but like, come on, like, many of these DC, like Birds of Prey, sold because of Harley Quinn. Like Suicide Squad, sold because of Harley Quinn. Nobody really cares about anything else.
I disagree.
And
I think the Suicide Squad had enough characters that people were like, oh, I watched this because of this character, and I watched because of that character. Harley Quinn really didn't as much of a spotlight.
Nah, to say that, to even think that, like, that movie without her could stand its own is crazy. Like, I think that was our first introduction to Harley Quinn, right? Then
No, I'm talking about the reboot one. I agree with you.
I'm just talking about in general. Well, I'm talking about for all of the movies that she's in. Like, she's the selling factor, right? Like, even in the first one, the first one had mad cast. Like, I think, what's the actress that played the Enchantress?
Cara Delevingne.
She was in there. Like you said, Jared Leto, Will Smith. Like the first cast was fire, but again, Harley Quinn was the selling point. She's the only character that really had that authentic personality. Everybody else was cool, but it was just like
for that movie, yeah. But I feel like
even Suicide Squad 2 too. Don't get me wrong, Peacemaker was cool. He was a dick. But like,
I feel like Peacemaker, Ratcatcher, King Shark, all carried their own, in my opinion. Because like you said, Harley Quinn is like, she's like in half the movie.
Well, and we got to remember too, they were like on different parts of the movie. They were in different areas too. Like if you compare it to the first one, I think the whole gang stuck together throughout the entire movie. Suicide Squad 2 is not like that, so it's like, I get it. So they get more like time where you can really like get that build that kind of connection with them.
Also,
I get it.
Even Polka Dot Man got like a lot of attention.
I don't know what the hell that is.
You kept seeing his mom and everybody.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah. I didn't even see the movie, so I can't elaborate on any of this.
Oh, well, why did you talk? I wouldn't have said everything I just said, that whore.
But I appreciate it.
All right, you knucklehead. But anyway, we went on a bit of a tangent, but like, I think Morbius is going to do really well. I don't think it's really gonna blow everyone's minds, but I think what's good about it is like it's gonna open a lot of avenues for everybody. Again, especially like with Blade. Like, and also like I don't know if you know this, but they already casted the new Blade.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, so Mahershala Ali is going to play the new Blade.
Interesting.
So yeah, he played the main villain in season 1 of Luke Cage. I don't know if you were.
Yeah, I know who's that. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's it. I can see him doing that.
I'm all for. Oh my god, but I'm hyped for that. Like,
I'm sorry. Wait, what happened with Luke Cage?
So you know the bad guy in season 1 of Luke Cage.
Yeah, what's his name? I forget his name.
That's why I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about, though.
I think Cottonmouth?
Yeah, Cottonmouth. He was fire.
Yeah, he's set to play Blade in future Blade movies.
That's fire.
Right. Really that's what I said. Yeah.
Like, for that one. Like, I'm all for that. That is perfect casting right there. So,
he's actually in today's episode's thumbnail.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's in the thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be fire.
So as everyone can listen, we are big fans of Mahershala Ali. but yeah, I think that was gonna be pretty good. And speaking of good, since we're on this topic of good stuff, just looking at February as a whole, next month is looking like it's going to be a slam dunk month for gaming as a whole.
Oh yeah, it's going to be
like let me bring up some games that are like coming out this month that like might kill everyone. So we got Dying Light 2 releasing this month. I think we already talked about that in the previous episode, so like, you know, we don't have to really hang over that one too much. But then next we got Sifu. That is an indie game that's been like really garnering a lot of attention. And I don't know, I think Don and Mir, I think you guys know a lot about Sifu, but Nick, you know a lot about Sifu?
I do. I did my research on it.
Actually, wait, I don't mean to cut you off, but like that's the complete opposite. I don't know shit about this game.
Oh, okay, so you're okay.
I've seen it, but I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's this kung fu game. Right, I don't know the story just yet. All I know is the game has an interesting mechanic where every time you die, your character gets older. Like, he starts to show old age.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I'm assuming the game has like some kind of permadeath thing where like if you get too old,
you die. Yeah. From birth. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds accurate though. Definitely.
So like that's a game to look out for. Whatchamacallit, Horizon Forbidden West comes out next month. Destiny's new DLC, The Witch Queen, that everyone, I guess, is losing their minds about. And then the real big one, here we go, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I don't care about this game at all. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say, just to go back on you real fast, I would say because people might get a little angry, but like, I would say Horizon Forbidden West is the biggest title that's coming out that month. I think it's going to be much bigger than Elden Ring.
I disagree, but hey, you're free to have your own opinions. I just
wait, that Elden Ring is going to be bigger than Horizon Forbidden West?
Yeah, everyone's in mind about the game.
I can see that.
I don't even think it's going to come close, to be honest with you. Like, Horizon at this point is like a titan. Like, it's on the level of God of War. Like,
whoa, buddy. Check out.
That, in terms of for PlayStation games?
Yeah.
No one's topping God of War. No one's topping that.
No, I'm not saying it's topping it, but I'm saying it's on the level of.
Yeah.
So, like, when anything like announcement, like Horizon is on the same scope of, like, The Last of Us and all these games, it's highly anticipated, right? Like, this game's been in development for, like, the past 4 years. So it's like, I think that is definitely for sure going to be the biggest game of the month.
Nah, you're trying to go after it from software. They're gonna sell. People like to hurt themselves, so they're gonna buy that game.
Yeah, but some software games aren't really. First of all, they don't come out that often, and not taking anything away from that, like saying that they're not going to sell, because they are, but like. Imagine if From Software was coming out in the fall when all this other shit is coming out. Like, yeah, it'll do well by its cult following, but, like, it's not about to be anything groundbreaking. Like, I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year or anything like that.
No, but I think it would be a nominee at least. I think it'll be a nominee.
Mind you, I'm only saying this. I'm not saying anything in regards to, like, the game being trash or anything like that. I'm just talking about from the perspective of, like, marketing and what is really popular and, like, AAA titles. Elden Ring is a AAA title, but like I just don't think it's going to be as big as Horizon Forbidden West.
That's an interesting take. I mean, I don't plan to buy either one, so.
And I think. Go ahead, Dan.
I was about to say, I think it actually is. It seems like over the past decade, like From Software fan base is like broke out of that barrier of just being the cult fan, and it's more open to, like, you know, the casual viewer of the consumer games.
Don, I think the term you're looking for are psychopaths.
Yeah, because I'm seeing like more people that are like outside of from software gaming community play it more. It's like people are more open to playing those kind of games now. And I don't know. I think it can really compete with like something like Horizon, because like we gotta think about like back in 2019, Sekiro actually won Game of the Year that year, and that was a From Software game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's very possible.
But the only thing is that Horizon 1 didn't release the same year, so it wasn't.
Exactly.
It wasn't a competition, right?
No, but I'm saying like it went against other.
Yeah, but like what? Hold on, let's double check this real quick. Like what came out in 2019?
Yeah.
2019 was an average year for games, I think.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't that great.
I mean, it was okay.
But it still went against like AAA games, though. That's my point. Like,
right.
It still went against.
But it depends. Like, all right, so look, we got. All right, so think about it. Like, I'm looking at some stuff here. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's Mortal Kombat 11, Gears 5, Star Wars, Control. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these games are like, they're good, but like they're not. Again, they're like The Last of Us 2 came out what, 2020?
Yeah.
If that came out the same year as Sekiro, it wouldn't have won.
Yeah, but that's
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one.
That's another
like even if Sekiro came out in 2018 with Red Dead Redemption 2, and I don't think Red Dead won Game of the Year, because at this point we're talking about, and Don, I agree with you. Like, I think that From Software games have broke out of that barrier of like cult, but it's still a very difficult game. And I think the thing about it is that From Software games kind of like evolve with time, not only like the gameplay mechanics itself, but also with just society, right? Like, you got to think about it. Within the past 3 years or so, like, a lot of shit has become a trend now. Like, so it's cool to stream very difficult video games, whether you like them or not. It's the trend, right? Like, reaction videos, like, a lot of different things have became now to where it's like, it's cool to stream these very difficult video games and get reactions, and just, it's cool. I just think it's more so like, it's cool and accepting to play these games now, more so of people actually being interested into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about a lot of games, but yeah, I can see that. But even like that Star Wars game, that's like really highly rated during the time when on 2019, like a lot of people was raving about that game. So it even competed against something like that, where it's like, I don't know. I think they can. I think they can really compete with like these exclusive games for each console. That's all I'm saying. I think they can like really.
I agree with you, but I think there's still levels to it. Like, I think there's like with like Star Wars Fallen Order was a great AAA game, but it was the first thing from Respawn that we've seen like that. So that's why it was more so of a shock to where it's like, okay, cool, like, this shit was really good, we should get a sequel. But when we're talking about putting like From Software games in a competitive standpoint against like fucking Santa Monica or fucking Rockstar or Naughty Dog, that's when it gets a little kind of like skewed, because it's like, I just don't see it. I just don't see more people buying Elden Ring over a game like fucking The Last of Us 2 or whatever the case may be, because that's how it wins and that's how it gets its sales, right? Who's consuming this game more?
Well, looks like we're gonna have to wait till February to get a hold of those sales and see how they do.
Anyway, we went off track. I mean, you were talking about the list of February anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry.
That was the Elden Ring was the big one. Like, the only one that is even remotely on anyone's radar is the Evil Dead game, and like, that game looks fun, but like, I think it's gonna be like,
I think I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's not gonna do too well, but like, I might buy it. And also, it's also like not necessarily set to come out in February. Like, it might get pushed back, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah.
Well, before you continue, because there's a couple things you missed, right? So, all right, so a lot of people are excited about this Dynasty Warriors 9. I personally don't. I'm not a fan of it. I never really played the series.
Dynasty
That's also
Warriors,
coming out
2008.
Life is Strange Remastered Collection. I'm a huge fan of Life is Strange, so I'm excited to play that one. That's actually been delayed. That was supposed to come out last year, but they delayed it until this month. We were supposed to get Saints Row, the reboot, but they delayed that until April, I believe. April or August, one of them.
I'm skeptical of that.
There's this game called Monarch. I'm not familiar with that too much, but I know that's coming out. Grid Legends. So if you're a fan of grid racing and anything like that, that's also coming out in February. I mean, long story short, like, this month is going to be our wallets are going to be on fire for sure. Like,
oh yeah.
There's only about two games for this month that have my interest, so
I'll be getting all 4.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm personally like looking forward to is Dying Light 2 and Sifu. I don't really.
But see, that's the interesting thing about it, because it's like, those two games, bro. Dying Light alone is going to take up 50 hours.
Oh, what? You didn't hear?
Longer than that.
No, hold on, because I got to tell you guys real quick since we're on the topic. Dying Light 2 Techland just released a thing that's saying if you plan to complete the game like 100%, it's going to take you 500 hours.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, this month is going to be so bad, especially for like any of us that's going to be buying multiple games. Oh. Like, I plan on getting Evil Dead, Horizon, King of Fighters, Sifu, Dying Light, Life is Strange. Bro, that's like 7 games there. Again, like we just said, Dying Light can take up 500 hours. So this is just going to, it's already the beginning of the year, and I'm already going to be on a huge backlog.
Those three
bank loans out.
Those three games alone is gonna take us through the majority of the year because
especially Dying Light 2 it's gonna have so much relevance.
Yep, and then Elden Ring takes about, because all From Software games take about 3 months, so that's what I'm saying. It's gonna take forever.
But see, the interesting thing is that Dying Light 2 comes out February 4th. Elden Ring comes out February 25th. So that's about a 2.5 week gap. Are we even going to be done playing Dying Light 2 by that time?
It's going to be 2030 and we're still playing Dying Light 2.
Absolutely not.
It's crazy. And then mind you, 2 comes out February 8th. I'm assuming Don's going to be on this train with me. I'm going to buy it and he can just download it. But King of Fighters, that comes out February 17th. So it's
right. This
is going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, and
I mean, to be honest with you, like as a little quick sneak peek, I'm looking at this list. March isn't getting any easier. I mean, we got Babylon's Fall. I'm really excited for that game. Gran Turismo 7. I have to get that. Forspoken, Tiny Tina Wonderlands. Like this. Crazy.
Wait. Forspoken just got moved up. I thought it was in
Forspoken is March 24th.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so, I mean that's the game I'm actually looking for.
Oh
that's not too far.
God.
You never know what'll get delayed, like you said, with one game getting Saints Row getting delayed.
No, I'm sorry. No, it's not March. It's not May. It's May 24th.
Okay, well at least that gives me some time to just kind of get through these 3 games, because the worst part, well, it's not the worst part, but it's because those 3 titles that are coming out in February, they're all open world games, so that's why it's going to be a long time before we even finish one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be rough, but yeah. Earlier you guys mentioned something about King of Fighters, because I want to bring up a quick thing. Speaking of fighters, apparently there's a lot of rumors that Injustice 3 is going to be NetherRealm's next big fighting game.
It has to.
What's everyone's like thoughts, wishes with Injustice 3 if that's what they come out with?
So the thing, there's been this rumor for the past year, 2 years now about how this whole NetherRealm is working on a Marvel/DC fighting game or something like that. I'm sorry, it was either Marvel and DC or like Marvel and Mortal Kombat or something like that. But they were saying something about NetherRealm working with Marvel or something like that. I mean, that's not something I'm looking forward to. I don't really want anything Marvel on the NetherRealm engine. I think they're pretty good with their license to DC and Mortal Kombat. But I mean, Injustice 3 is definitely needed. It's been about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Injustice 2 was great. Injustice 2 was great. It had an unimaginable roster. Like, they had characters that, like, it was so big that, like, they introduced additional characters as skins. So, like, for Mr. Freeze, you had Killer Frost as a skin, but she was an actual character in game. And then I think for like Raiden or something like that, the Black Lightning.
Yeah, that was cool
too. But these were skins, though, mind you. Keep it in mind, this is how big this roster is at this point. Like, they're adding additional characters as just skins. It's crazy. So like, the thing is like, what can they do? Like, I'm not even talking about from a campaign perspective, but it's like they introduced so many characters in the first 2 games. Are we just going to get recycled characters? That's the thing that I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah.
I mean, they still got a bit of like Rogues Gallery. I feel like, because remember you got characters from like the Suicide Squad, and like I feel like they'll start adding characters from there. So like,
yeah. But then again, I think at its spread, because Suicide Squad includes, I think Deadshot was in one of the games, right? Wasn't he in the first one or something like that?
Yeah, there's Deadshot, but I mean, I'm talking like the more obscure characters. Like you got
right. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, like Killer Shark, or I mean not Killer Shark, King Shark, or like I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. But Captain Boomerang.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny though.
Or even more stuff from like the Teen Titans or
I was about to say that. That's another one. You can get like Gizmo or Beast Boy or we already got Cyborg, and then we had
Cyborg and Starfire. Starfire was in the.
So yeah, that's right. Starfire was in there, and then obviously Robin. So it's like they got Beast Boy, Terra, Blade, character, what's the other bad guy characters like Gizmo, Jinx.
We need Ra's al Ghul in there.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
Put Batwoman in there. We haven't had Batwoman.
Yeah, Batwoman. I mean, they already had a Red Hood, who's my favorite. So like,
did they have Domino in there?
Domino's
Marvel.
Oh yeah,
fool. How dare you?
Ditzy.
But here's my interesting take on it. I if they do Injustice 3, that's cool and all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against it. Like I love Injustice 2. I want NetherRealm to do something different though. I want a fighting game of like 90s horror characters. So I want like Freddy, Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hellraiser, Maniac Cop, The Page Master, Candyman. Look at that. Make it happen, NetherRealm.
Yeah,
welcome.
That's something. That'll be something easy they can do.
Yeah,
exactly. And like, remember, because the main thing NetherRealm's known for is obviously Mortal Kombat. It's like it's the gore game with that kind of IP where they take like 90s horror characters. They can take that gore to like 11. You know what I mean? They can just go way up.
I agree, but the thing though is that I would want the art style from Arc System Works. I would want that type of art style. I don't know how well that will work, especially in terms of gore, because like a lot of the games that Arc System Works make, they don't really have much blood going on in them. But like I just adore the art style of it. It's phenomenal.
I don't care what engine it is. If it looks like Mortal Kombat, I'm fine. Mortal Kombat was MK11 was a gorgeous game.
It does. I don't know. Like I was playing it the other day. It didn't really age well.
MK11?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'll be looking at it now. Like,
it looks great. It even ran on the Switch.
I would.
I was about to say, wasn't it Mortal Kombat that added like Freddy Krueger or something?
Yeah.
The older ones, they added Freddy Krueger. So like, that's what I'm saying. So they already got ideas.
I think it was only on PS3. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was Kratos that was on PS3.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like they've already had a few horror icons in the Mortal Kombat franchise. So like you got ideas for movesets right there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine doing some combos as like.
Imagine playing as like Ghostface.
Yeah, just doing some combos.
Stabbing combo on like.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be baller. That's cash money. Right there. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, it should be fun.
But if they announce that that's their next game, I pre-order that game. That's a big statement coming from me. I'll pre-order that shit. So let's see what NetherRealm decides to do with their next game, if they even come up with a game soon. But all right, we're getting a little close. We're getting a little late there. So why don't we start doing our short takes? Don, you got any short takes for this episode?
Oh yeah, Zelda. Breath of the Wild 2. Like we said earlier, we're not sure if it's going to come out this year, but I'm definitely. That gives me time now to go back into the history of Zelda, because I don't know too much about the franchise. I haven't played a Zelda game in general, so I definitely want to dive into the lore of Zelda and the storyline and everything. I always wanted to get into the series, but I just never seeked it out. But now that I got like a Nintendo Switch from last year, I definitely can start diving in.
That's all right. That's good. That's cool. That's cool. Mir, you got any short takes you want to take over?
Yeah, one of the short takes, it's actually me and Nick. We wanted to just briefly talk about how this year we've really been into the comic culture now. Like, so I've been like, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of this now, but like, there's streaming subscription services now, like DC Unlimited, I think that's what it's called, Cosmicology, and then Marvel has its own Marvel subscription, Marvel Unlimited actually. So like, I've just been reading like a lot of old school golden age, like classic shit from like, like the 1940s, 1960s from Marvel and DC. But I think the interesting thing about like a lot of those old school things is that every time I read it, it reminds me of like a classic cartoon from that time period too. Like it seems like a lot of that stuff that they were writing correlated what was being presented on TV. So like, you know how like Scooby-Doo back in the day, like it was very like a lot of the shit that they did was really cheesy and goofy, and like it just wouldn't like you wouldn't be able to produce something as simple as that now. It's just like that's how comic books were like back in the day. Like I'm not sure if you guys ever read like the very first issue of X-Men, but like the cool thing about it was like they faced off against Magneto or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't really like actually fist hand-to-hand combat type of thing, right? Like it was goofy things, like you know how I'm sorry to keep going back to it, but like that's the thing that I can kind of reference from. But like you know how like Scooby-Doo, the classic TV show, they would catch villains by doing like this crazy simple maneuver setup in order to capture the villain. That's how things were happening back in the comics. So like they were, instead of actually like fighting Magneto, they were using, you know, obviously they were using their brains to like find traps and little goofy subtle things in order to like defeat the villains. So I just think that's something I really admired about like those golden age type comics. And then obviously the artwork, you know what I mean? Like that's when it was at its most authentic and raw. So like I just think that's really cool. So like 2022 is definitely going to be a year for like comics for me.
Interesting. That was the longest short take I've ever seen in my life. I know you mentioned that was for Nick. Nick, you got any like quick thing you want to add to it?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what he's saying. Yeah, we just been really, the comic books has really just been making a come up. I'm actually reading this new series, The Death of Doctor Strange, and man, it's fantastic. I really recommend anybody giving it a shot. And honestly, I recommend, you know, giving a lot of people a chance to really read a comic, because it just gives you a different take on, instead of watching what it is on the big screens, because they like to leave out a lot of content, a lot of additional information that might leave you guessing on, you know, like what if, or is this supposed to happen this way? Like it leaves you with a lot of questions. So when you dive into the comic books, it gives you a different take on a character, to be specific. So honestly, yeah, I just to piggyback off everything he was just saying, like I just think that comic books are definitely on the come up, and everybody should be trying to read a comic these days.
I agree. Everyone needs to embrace nerd culture, you know. Okay, I'll jump into my short take for the end of this. So those of you who do not know, Ya Brown Man has officially joined the PC Master Race.
PC elitist.
Little round of applause. Thank you. I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm an elitist. Like I'm not gonna say like, you know, the PC is the be all end all like machine for gaming, because I do still love to play on the Switch. Like I play Overwatch on the Switch, and like I play a few other things on the Switch.
Wait, you have Overwatch?
Yeah.
I thought you hated Overwatch.
Especially on the Switch, it's fine. It's what it is. It carries me over. It's on the dust off my Switch every now and again. But
is it Overwatch crossplay now?
Yep, it sure is. But back on the PC things, like it's for me, it's like the whole like the roster of games is like mad. Like I have games that like I have PlayStation 2 games, I have the 3DS games on my computer right now, and like I can play those now. Even like I couldn't have done that without buying the actual old console. So it's like I do love the addition of like you can play whatever you want, going back to however far back you want to go, and like the idea of like being able to customize everything from like the graphics all the way down to like the controls, like everything's just so much more accommodating. So it's like I'll probably be playing PC a lot more often than playing on console. And like I'm sorry, my Xbox is becoming my Netflix machine now. So
would you say that this year alone, pretty much all your purchases is going to be on PC?
Not all, but I would say about 80 to 90%. Because like I said, I plan on getting Pokemon Legends.
Well, I meant like for like third party shit, like so for example.
Yeah, like if it comes out on the PC, I'll probably get it on the PC.
Like Dying Light 2, is that a PC?
Yeah, that's something I'll probably get on the PC. Or like Forspoken, if it comes out on PC, I'll get Forspoken.
Yeah, it's gonna be on PC, so that'll give you a chance to play it.
Yeah, so that'll be right on my Steam library. But yeah, why don't we end that there? It's a great episode, boys. Very Nintendo heavy. So if you enjoyed this, give us a follow, like, all that fun stuff. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. And are we on anything else, Nick? Is it just
Apple Music?
Apple, look at that. You can follow us on Apple Music too. So thank you guys for joining for episode 5. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right, guys. Have a good one.